Welcome to summertime in Chicago, and welcome to Baseball Night in America. Tonight, a pivotal clash within the AL Central as the Minnesota Twins take on the Chicago White Sox. This is game 2 of a 3-game series. Last night, a thrilling finish for the Sox. They were down 1 of the 8th inning. Yasmani Grandal came up big, a game-tying home run in the 8th inning to make it a 3-3 game. Same score, bottom 9, 2 on, and Jorge Lopez plunks Andrew Vaughn to the shoulder. He wasn't happy. Dugout's not happy. Emotions running high, but then things calmed down. We resumed play. It looked like Jose Abreu got hit by that pitch. The game was over then. However, upon further review, it was a foul ball. But then Abreu would get his chance, put the ball in play, deflected off the glove of Lopez as the White Sox walked it off 4-3. And a frustrated Jorge Lopez slamming the ground with his pitching hand as the White Sox won by 1 last night. With that, we have ourselves a race a month to go in the season, and the AL Central is there for the taking right now. The Guardians lead the Twins by 1, and the White Sox, a 500 team, come in only 3 games back. And with that, we welcome you to the broadcast booth alongside former World Series champion A.J. Pierzynski. I'm Corey Provis. Ken Rosenthal joins us from the field in just a bit. So a crazy finish last night. A.J., we have a month to go in the season, and we may see more crazy finishes before this thing ends.
Well, it's the best race right now in all of baseball, the AL Central. 3 teams within 3 games of each other, and they play against each other a ton. So let's hope last night is something that happens again tonight, because that 9th inning was insanity. A bigger win for the White Sox. They're the team chasing the Twins and the Guardians. The energy was there for both teams last night. It had a playoff atmosphere, and it will continue for the last 30 games for these teams.
And after tonight, still 7 left between these 2 teams before this thing winds down. Now, the Minnesota Twins made some bold moves at the trade deadline, helping their bullpen, also the rotation, and they get a key piece tonight back in Tyler Mahle.
Well, this is a guy they went out and got, along with Lopez at the back end of their bullpen, to solidify their pitching staff. And the one thing the Twins need from him, he's on a pitch count tonight, but they need length. He's been great since he's come over. They need him to throw that fastball by a lot of these right-handed hitters for the White Sox. Give him some length. They had to use 5 innings of bullpen last night, but they need Tyler Mahle to go out, throw the fastball, get him deep into this game, and give the offense a chance to score some runs.
So Mahle for the Twins, and on the mound tonight for the White Sox, their ace in right-hander Dylan Cease, who's having an unbelievable season, perhaps a Cy Young season. Leads all of baseball, striking out almost 12 batters per 9. Cease will face the Twins for the 2nd time this season. Twins and White Sox. This is a great rivalry. We have another chapter coming up here tonight. It's game 2, Baseball Night in America. Twins and White Sox next on Fox. Twins and the White Sox about to begin, and on the mound tonight for Chicago, A.J., the best they have in right-hander Dylan Cease, who's had an unbelievable season.
One of the best pitchers in the American League this year. You see the numbers there. He's definitely in the AL Cy Young Award voting. The key for him, his slider. He throws it a ton. It's one of the best sliders in the game. You see 42% the most in baseball. Opponents hit 121 against that pitch. It is a devastating pitch. You talked to the Twins before the game. They have to try to lay off the bad ones. The only weakness in Dylan Cease's armor, chink in the armor, is the fact that he walks a lot of guys, he runs pitch counts up, and he doesn't usually get into the 6th inning, Corey.
And there is Miguel Cairo, the acting manager for the 5th straight game. The White Sox 3-1 with Cairo as the acting manager. And the first pitch is a fastball high, ball 1. With that, we are underway, and we wish Tony La Russa all the best, away from the team right now, as he had to fly back to Arizona to undergo further medical testing. And hopefully, Tony, you're back where you belong, inside the White Sox dugout very, very soon. Outside to Luis Arraez, 2 balls and no strikes. The all-star Luis Arraez leads the American League in batting at .319. He's 5th in the league in on-base percentage, and could be the first Twin to win a batting crown since Joe Mauer won his last one in 2009. Swing and a miss. You see the season that Arraez has had. Tough to strike out, rarely swings and misses. Getting 285 with 2 strikes. And the 2-1. And that's out of play left side. Among the more challenging hitters to retire. Wouldn't you say, AJ, in the game right now, Luis Arraez?
One of the best, well, probably the best bat to ball guy in all of baseball. He does not strike out, lowest whiff percentage in baseball, but he also doesn't hit the ball very hard, Corey. He just puts the ball in play, especially with 2 strikes, trying to put the pressure on the defense.
The 2-2 in the air to left, and Andrew Vaughn grabs that one, and that's out number 1. Arraez retired. Carlos Correa, Max Kepler, Jose Miranda having an outstanding rookie season. Nick Gordon playing his best baseball of his career. Urshela, Cave, Sanchez, and Celestino hitting 9th in center field tonight. And now Carlos Correa. Good year, not great. 1 for 11 against Dylan Cease in his career, as he hammers that slider foul. Now Correa last weekend against the Giants played well. 8 hits and 12 at bats, but since then last 4 games is just 1 for his last 14 with only 1 RBI. And the 0-1 on the infield near second base. Romy Gonzalez grabs that one quickly. 2 up, 2 down.
And a huge inning for Dylan Cease. If there's one inning he struggled in, Corey, so far this year, it's been the first inning. An ERA over 3.5. After that, it goes down to under 2. So the Twins are trying to jump on him early, get him early. Right now, he's gotten 2 easy outs so far, though.
Now here's a guy, though, that has had success against Dylan Cease. Look at those numbers: 3 home runs lifetime. Head to head, Kepler just 9 homers on the year. It's been a down year for Kepler. Hitting the ball on the ground at a very high rate, as Cease misses high at 97, ball 1.
Well, just you mentioned a down year, no power. His slug has gone away. Just 4 homers since the beginning of May, Corey.
Dealt with a fractured toe out of the All-Star break, as he waves and misses at that on a curveball, and it's a 1-1 count. Now Kepler doesn't strike out too often. He does walk. But this is a lineup, minus Jorge Polanco and minus Byron Buxton, that the Twins need that power to come back like it did in 2019. Slider inside, ball 2. And Kepler was out with a fractured toe since he's come back. Just 4 runs batted in 23 games. Still playing a very strong defensive right field. Good numbers lifetime here at this ballpark. And the 2-1 in the air to right. That'll be playable near the line. Gavin Sheets grabs it. So 3 fly ball outs, and Dylan Cease has a 1-2-3 start. Here comes Tyler Mahle on the mound for the Twins when we come back. White Sox lineup tonight: for Miguel Cairo, Andres Vaughn, Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez back in the starting lineup, dealing with a right leg injury. Gavin Sheets, AJ Pollock, traditionally outstanding September numbers. The veteran Josh Harrison, Seby Zavala, as Grandal is out here tonight. Romy Gonzalez is hitting 9th, and on the mound for the Twins, off the IL, is right-hander Tyler Mahle.
Well, we mentioned he came over from Cincinnati around the trade deadline, and he's been really good for the Twins. He features a fastball, 4-seamer, high spin rate. Not a lot of people can hit it. They're hitting under 200, which against the fastball is huge. You see the usage: splitter, cutter, slider. Sometimes the cutter and slider are hard to differentiate between the two, but he has to locate it, especially against these righties for the White Sox.
Mahle, his velocity was noticeably down. That was the initial red flag in his last start at home against the Royals on August 17th. A guy that throws low to mid-90s. He was in the upper 80s his last time out, and that's 92, but outside. Ball 1 to Elvis Andrus, released by the A's on August 17th, signed with the White Sox 2 days later, and he is the everyday shortstop with Tim Anderson on the IL, as Andrus smokes one to center and a leadoff single. Good start for the White Sox. Look at the Twins defense here tonight. Cave, Celestino, Kepler, the outfield. The infield: Urshela, Correa, Gordon, and Miranda, and Gary Sanchez once again behind the plate. Twins missing Byron Buxton. Also no Jorge Polanco Again tonight, he's out with a knee injury. And here's Andrew Vaughn. 15 home runs on the season, 5 over his last 29 games. Fastball strike, so velocity for Malley solid early at 92 miles an hour.
Well, that's what Rocco Baldelli's looking for. You mentioned 88 before he went on the IL with the shoulder problem. He's usually around the 92, 93 range. Is he going to have to reach back though to try to get that, Corey, instead of just be smooth and easy?
Off speed, grounded up the middle and through, base hit center field. Andrus is going to round second base, and he will make third. Back-to-back singles for the White Sox, and Chicago in business right away tonight.
Little slider up to Vaughn, just bangs it right up the middle, right up the box. I thought when this ball was hit, Correa had a chance, but he's slung over in the hole. Corey gets up the middle, nice base running by Elvis Andrus, knowing where the center fielder is, how deep he is. Easy first to third, and the White Sox are in business.
So 2 on, nobody out. And now the former MVP, free agent to be, and 35-year-old Jose Abreu produces 5th game-winning RBI in the 9th inning last night. .93, top of the zone, strike 1. Abreu on pace for just 77 RBI. And asking Miguel Cairo about that today, he said that a big part of the reason why his run production has been down, missing Tim Anderson, missing Yohan Moncada as often as this lineup has. Foul back.
Well, RBIs, Corey, are a function of where you hit in the lineup, who's in front of you in the lineup, and also his power's down. That's the other thing about Jose Abreu. His power's down from previous years. But if you don't get the opportunities, it is really hard to drive in 100 runs like he has for so many years for these White Sox.
White Sox were 2 of 7 with runners in scoring position last night. Malley has allowed only 3 hits on an 0-2 count all year. Make it 4. 1-0 Chicago. RBI single Abreu. Andrus is in. Vaughn to second. 3 batters in. 1-0 Chicago.
Fastball tries to get it up, catches way too much of the plate. You can see Malley's reaction. He knows right when he lets this go, it's not where he wanted to throw it. How do you drive in a ton of runs? You do what Jose Abreu did right there. He got a fastball up, a runner on third. He took what the pitcher gave him and just doinked the single over to right field. No outs, 1 run on the board. The White Sox again, Corey, are in business.
Still nobody out, and now Eloy Jimenez back at the starting lineup tonight. Still nursing that right leg, coming off hamstring surgery from earlier in the season. Only DHing for the time being. Jimenez tonight is 58th game of the year. Eight home runs, 30 knocked in. 1-0 Sox, 2 on, nobody out, bottom 1.
All 3 of the White Sox hits have been up the middle or the other way. They're not trying to do too much. See Andrus, see Vaughn up the middle, and then you see Abreu with 2 strikes. Just take the ball to right field, take what he's given you. I mentioned how hard Malley was to square up, especially on that fastball. Well, so far the White Sox have had no problem with it.
Now the 1-1 pitch, crushed to right center field, hit a ton. This one is back to the bleachers and gone. One of the few White Sox hitters that has better numbers at home as opposed to being on the road. 425 and no doubter. 4 batters in, 4-0 Chicago, and still nobody out. As Correa and Sanchez, the Twins, huddle up on the mound. The White Sox dugout celebrates. 9th home run for Jimenez. And an amazing start for the White Sox here tonight.
Amazing sums it up. Another fastball up to Jimenez. And again, other way. Just gets it up, out over the plate. Not trying to pull it, not trying to do too much. White Sox up 4-0. And if you were going to pick a start, if you're a White Sox fan, this would be it. And if you are a Twins fan, this is exactly what you did not want to see if you're Rocco Baldelli.
Now, AJ, you mentioned the lack of power with this White Sox team that has been surprising. But again, it's been a team, the offense, that has been decimated by so many injuries. But the power is surging here at the most opportune time. That's now 9 home runs for the White Sox over their last 5 games.
It's coming. They're also getting healthier. They got Jimenez back. They got Grandal back, who hit a home run last night. Moncada's on the way. Roberts on the way.
Sheets sends it foul. Malley, his 4th start with the Twins, and already 4-0 Chicago. And there is Tim Anderson, still a couple of weeks away from coming back from a hand injury. Off speed, swing and a miss on a splitter. 1-2. Gavin Sheets, an outstanding second half, especially in August. 12 home runs, all 12 have come here at Guaranteed Rate Field. 1-2 is inside.
That's a pitch I think Malley needs to throw more. That heater in with 2 strikes. We've seen the hits. The White Sox have gotten it the other way, the other way. We got to move somebody's feet. I'm not saying throw at somebody, but you got to move somebody's feet, make them uncomfortable.
On the ground to the right side. First chance for Nick Gordon. And there's the first out in the opening inning. Malley did not have a rehab start. He threw 2 bullpens, had a simulated game at Target Field back on Monday. The Twins pitching staff felt like it wasn't going to be much longer than the 15 days on the IL. There's Pete Mackey, pitching coach, was named the pitching coach on July 1st, with Wes Johnson leaving the Twins to be the pitching coach at LSU. Outside ball 1 to AJ Pollock. He's found some home run power here lately. 3 homers over his last 7 games. Cutter outside, ball 2. Pete Mackey said this week they were pretty confident he would not need any rehab start because he was pain-free. As he misses outside, ball 3. And Malley did have a shoulder injury in July with the Reds. And Rocco Baldelli's training staff compared images from this shoulder injury to the shoulder injury he had in July, and no difference. Nothing different structurally with the imaging. 3-0 swing, and it's popped up into right. And Kepler grabs this one 2 down.
Well, I understand all the things you're saying, Corey, about the imaging and he's pain-free and this and that, but there's a difference between a simulated game where everything is perfect, the weather's perfect, and then stepping out onto the mound in a pennant race with big league hitters up there trying to hit your pitches. And the Twins wanted to get him back, clearly, because they need the starting pitching and they need him to be good. But man, sometimes I think, again, their training staff knows way more than I do, but man, something to be said for going out there and having 3 or 4 innings in a minor league rehab start.
Now the veteran Josh Harrison, as the slider misses outside. Harrison, 35 years old, on base percentage climb in the last few weeks. Just high, and that's ball 2. No Moncada, he's on the IL with a hamstring injury, so Harrison seeing more time at third base. The 22nd pitch of the inning coming up for Tyler Malley. Strike 1.
And that's important also because Rocco Baldelli, the Twins manager, said, hey, he's 50 to 60. So he's already at 22. He's not going to make it very deep in this game.
Swing there from Harrison, and he popped it foul off the screen. 2-2. It's a Twins staff that all season long has struggled just to provide innings. 14th fewest innings from this starting staff in the American League. As Harrison sends that one foul, 2-2, and that catches up, and that's been consistent, AJ, from the outset, easing the starters in, but still 27th in all of baseball in terms of getting innings from the starting staff.
You're absolutely right, that catches up to you because it wears out the bullpen. There's only so many bullets that each pitcher has, and the more you go to those guys, the less and less effective they become. Plus, the hitters get to see them more and more. So there's a lot into that. And what I'm amazed by, 4.8 is only 27th in the league. Who are the three teams behind him?
Full count on Josh Harrison as he sends one to center. Back is Celestino with a play, and he'll grab it, and that's the inning. But Eloy Jimenez and the White Sox strike first in a big way. A 3-run homer to right. White Sox 4-0 early. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Ford, built for America. And by Mattress Firm, where you can say goodnight to junk sleep. Lakeshore Drive in Chicago, beautiful weekend. 4-0 White Sox as Jose Miranda, one hopper to third, and Harrison throws him out. So Miranda retired in one pitch. Dylan Cease 4 outs, 12 pitches so far tonight. His 27th start, 12-6, and now here comes Nick Gordon. Great story for the Twins this year. Former first-round pick, finally healthy, and the numbers since August 1st, AJ, impressive for the former first-round pick.
Well, it takes some guys longer than others to find it, and since August 1st, he has figured some out. He's been aggressive early in the count. You can't swing right there first pitch after your buddy makes a first pitch out, but he's been aggressive in the count, and when he's been, especially in big situations, he's gotten some huge hits for the Twins last month.
Drove in all 3 of the Twins' runs last night as he fouls it back. 11 RBI for Gordon over his last 3 games, and for him it was about being able to build and maintain weight. Spring training 2021, you're looking at a guy that weighed only 155 pounds. He dealt with constant gastrointestinal abnormalities. He had a bad bout of COVID in 2020, could not even go to the alt site in St. Paul. But now he's up to about 183, 184. The goal to be about 190 come spring training 2023.
That's crazy. He was 155 pounds trying to be a Major League Baseball player.
The 1-2 pitch popped up. Harrison on to left field. He'll grab it, 2 down. Let's check it downstairs with Ken Rosenthal. Hi, Ken.
Well, Corey, the path for Dylan Cease to win a Cy Young Award opened up this week when Justin Verlander and Shane McClanahan went on the injured list on back-to-back days. Now, for Cease, that path would be rather unusual. He is second in the majors in strikeout rate to McClanahan, and he leads the majors in walk rate. Now, in Major League history, there have only been 4 pitchers to lead the league in both categories, strikeout rate and walk rate. That would be Bob Feller, Sam McDowell, Nolan Ryan 3 times, and Randy Johnson. None of those pitchers won a Cy Young, but of course, the Cy Young was not invented when Mr. Feller was towing the slab.
Yeah, thank you. And the 0-1 is outside, so Dylan Cease is building quite the campaign. Verlander, McClanahan both out right now. So AJ, I'll go to you. Is it Dylan Cease's to lose right now with Verlander, McClanahan out?
No. If Verlander comes back quickly, it's Verlander's to lose. You look at those numbers. The season, it's a historic season that Justin Verlander is having. Now, listen, Kenny's going to vote for Cease.
A well to right center field, but Pollock positioned perfectly. And Cease 6 up, 6 down. White Sox up by 4. Back at it when we come back. Well, you still have a free chance to win $10,000 of Big Papi's money tonight playing Fox Bet Super 6. Just scan the QR code now, download the Super 6 app, and get your picks into the MLB Super 6 Challenge for a free chance at $10,000 of Big Papi's money. Tyler Mahle back out for the second. White Sox by 4. Outside ball 1 to Sebi Zavala. 29-year-old catcher, 12th round pick out of San Diego State in 2015. Known for his defense, but he's had a solid offensive season.
Well, it started in AAA for Sebi Zavala. He had a monster year going in AAA, and then as soon as the White Sox got rid of Zach Collins, Reese McGuire, they traded him away. Zavala's come up and just been a menace down in the bottom of the order for the White Sox.
2-0 is popped up. Correa behind second base, and that's out number 1. So Zavala starting tonight. There is Yasmani Grandal, who arguably had his biggest swing of the season last night, tying the game in the 8th inning. This is a planned night off for Grandal. Chatting with Miguel Cairo before the game. Grandal bringing him back off the IL. Played 3 straight, down tonight. And we'll see what the White Sox do tomorrow.
I would have been fighting like crazy if I'm Yasmani Grandal to be in the lineup. 2 huge hits for the White Sox. One went about 110 feet. Barely got to the outfield grass for an RBI, and the one in the 8th inning off Thielbar was a huge home run for the White Sox. I know there's planned days off, Corey, but there are days where, as a player, you got to fight and claw to get in the lineup.
Romy Gonzalez, rookie second baseman, 25 years old, 18th round pick in 2018. Had a good game last night. 1 for 4, scored a run. Tonight his 11th game with the White Sox, as a cutter misses outside, and it's 2-1. Mahle, 27 years old. Line to right field, another opposite field hit. So sensing a pattern here that Frank Menechino, the White Sox hitting coach, had for his team tonight.
Yeah, it's go the other way. Take what he gives you. Don't try to do too much. I think that's the one thing about Mahle. When you look at his numbers, you say, man, they're hitting under 200 on his fastball so far this year. Guys see 92. Listen, 92 used to be really hard. Now it's below average velocity for a starting pitcher, for any pitcher for that matter. And people probably try to do too much, thinking not only 92. With the White Sox so far, these first inning and a third have had a great approach. The other way, take what he gives you, and then boom, Eloy Jimenez pops on.
Andrus got it going right away against Mahle in the opening inning with a base hit to center. 1 on, 1 out. Strike 1 on a splitter. Andrus, over his last 7 games, has 10 hits. And this acquisition made sense, right, AJ? Without Tim Anderson signing a proven veteran, 13 years of service time at Elvis Andrus.
And it was the perfect time for the White Sox. Been released by the Oakland Athletics. He kind of said, hey, I want to play every day, or I want to go somewhere where I can win. He was getting neither one out in Oakland. They released him. White Sox, right when they released him, Tim Anderson goes down. Elvis Andrus is out there. Since he's come over to Chicago, he has been good, not only offensively, but defensively. He's played a really good shortstop, and his defensive numbers have gone up.
Check, and Gonzalez is back in safely. Impressive milestone there for Elvis Andrus. Most among active players.
You know what that means, Corey?
Old?
You're getting old. Got a little gray in the beard. I played with Elvis Andrus in 2013, almost 10 years ago, and he was just a young lad.
Smack to center field. Celestino there, and he grabs it for the second out. It was always a blast watching Andrus in Texas and the relationship he had with Adrian Beltre, and watching those two guys at short and third and how much they would play with one another. And you know, Beltre hated being hit on the head, and if anybody was going to do it in the dugout, it was that guy.
Two of the best teammates I ever had, Elvis and Adrian. Like I said, I played with both of them in 2013 and for a whole year in Texas. You want to talk about, you said, having fun, enjoying the game, messing with each other. Remember they used to do the pop-up trick where one of them would catch it and the other would act like, I mean, they were just like the best of friends, had a great time.
Vaughn to left. It's playable. Jake Cave grabs it, and Tyler Malley has a much better second. On to the third, 4-0 Chicago. So far, so good for Dylan Cease. 6 up, 6 down. White Sox 4, Twins nothing. It'll be Cave, Sanchez, and Celestino. Special guest joining us from the White Sox dugout right now. Two-time All-Star starting pitcher Lance Lynn joins us from the White Sox dugout. Lance, Corey, and AJ up in the booth. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's great to visit with you. And as you watch your teammate Dylan Cease, you've been his teammate now for a couple of years. When did you notice that this is not just a starter, but this is a blossoming ace in the game?
I think you notice, we see the stuff, obviously, that's easy. I think you're starting to see it when last year, as the year went on, he started picking people's brain and actually, started realizing that there's other things that go in it besides just stuff. And then he was able to kind of take off and zone in on certain things to improve.
Outside, ball 3. Do you study his slider? Do you just look at it and see how he throws it and why he throws it and what makes it so effective? Yeah,
we've talked about it. As a person that doesn't really have a breaking ball, I'm like, hey, how you hold that thing? See if I can get it to do what you do. But he throws it a little different than I've ever seen it, and it works well with how he holds the ball, how he throws it in his arm slot. So he's able to really funnel it off his heater.
I was going to ask you that, Lance. Does he infuriate you? Because you used to throw all heaters. And he throws a ton of sliders, more sliders than any other starter in the game. So it's like watching the anti-Lance Lynn out there pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more infuriated with the fact that he's got 97. Woo! If I had 97, do you think of how many more heaters I would throw?
Well, grow a mustache like he has. Maybe that brings the velocity up.
I got a grown man beard.
3-2 the count to Jake Cave. Now the payoff, and there is ball 4. 63rd walk issued by Cease this season. That leads all the baseball now. You can't see this, but Lance was showing last night, hit by pitch. Andrew Vaughn got hit by Lopez, and that loaded the bases. And there was talk between Lopez and Vaughn, and then you came out talking and charging the mound. Take us through what you saw, what you heard in the 9th inning last night.
You know that it's not on purpose, just because of the situation it was. Vaughn got hit up and in. A couple weeks ago, he got hit in the face, so obviously it's still fresh. Vaughn's not one to say much, and then he's walking down the line, and you start seeing some chirping. So you just want to make sure you understand what's being said. And I just was just asking him what he was saying. That's pretty much it. Just wanted to get closer so I could hear him.
I just want to know how you got over the dugout fence so quickly.
I can walk over this one. This is easy. I'm not worried about that.
So when you went out there, but I noticed once you got out there, Lance, you let people get in front of you. You go out there first.
Double play ball to short. There's 1. Gonzalez 2. Double play. 6-4-3.
When you're the first one over the rail, Lance, you got to be the. You can't let Miguel Cairo go out there and get Rocco Baldelli. That's got to be you.
No, Rocco's quicker than I thought he was. He still got it. He got out there and got in front of everybody pretty quick. So, everybody calmed down pretty quick. You know that it's not on purpose, obviously, in that situation. And, some things, I think things were being said that were kind of, maybe not what we thought were said. So that's just part of the misunderstanding sometimes.
To the right side, that's a trap ball, but played perfectly by Gonzalez. Hey, Lance, before we go, Tony La Russa, no doubt, is watching tonight. What do you want to say to your manager?
Hi, we love you, Skip, and we definitely know he's watching, so we'll keep doing our thing here for you.
All right, Lance, thanks for joining us. We thank Lance Lynn for his time. Cease has seen the minimum through 3. Bottom 3, White Sox batting on top 4-0, and Rocco Baldelli is making a pitching change. Aaron Sanchez, former starter, now in the bullpen, is on to throw for the Twins. Veteran, he's been around a long time. And Sanchez will come in the third. Now let's bring in Ken Rosenthal on the field. Now, Ken, the plan was for Tyler Mahle to throw maybe 55 pitches here tonight, but only threw 37.
That's exactly right, Corey. And you saw him seem to settle down the last inning, but his velocity was down. He was 92-94 in the first inning, 88-89 in the second.
And that's where he was that last start before his IL stint with right shoulder fatigue. He was in the upper 80s. So now Mahle is out, and here comes Aaron Sanchez.
Well, Corey, what you mentioned about the velocity is what we heard before the game, why he originally went on the IL, and now it pops up after one inning. Again, this is why when I said, hey, you got to go on a rehab start to go up, down. Again, when you are a major league player, you can simulate a game. It's like a spring training game. You can go through it, you get through it, you feel great. Then you step onto that big league mound with 30,000 people cheering at you, yelling at you. It's a different level of adrenaline, and it's amazing how many times guys come back and they get hurt right away with the same injury because of that adrenaline difference and the intensity difference.
Ball 2 outside. Abreu singled to right and scored on the Jimenez home run. And the White Sox 4-run first. Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch there from Sanchez.
They need innings from Sanchez. They need a deep run. Sonny Gray came out of the game early last night after only 4 innings. They need Aaron Sanchez to give them 3, 4, maybe 5 innings here. Keep them in the game. Give the offense a chance. But more importantly, save the bullpen.
Yeah, Gray left last night with a hamstring strain, or they're calling tightness in his hamstring. So Gray had a short start last night, and now Sanchez strikes out Abreu looking, and that's out number 1. And Gray would be in line to start early next week at Yankee Stadium. So 1 down, and here is Jimenez. Lasted his 9th homer of the season, out to right center field off Mahle in the first. Sinker outside, ball 1. So Eloy Jimenez, 25 years old. Hurt his hamstring early this season against the Twins in Minneapolis. Needed surgery, was out more than 2 months. And still easing him back in. Chatting with Miguel Cairo before the game. He had 2 different lineups. He wasn't sure that Jimenez was going to be able to start tonight, but he got through. Pre-game warm-up fine. DHing and hitting 4th for the White Sox here tonight. Ball 3.
They are happy he was in the lineup in that first inning when he hit the 3-run homer to get him going. Yeah, it was weird because Miguel Cairo said, if we got 2 lineups, one if Eloy can pass and play, and another one if he can. And right when we were leaving the office, he made the decision. He was ready to go, and you saw Eloy. He ran past us, bouncing in there to Miguel Cairo in the coach's office and tell him he was good to go.
And there's ball 4. Sanchez sinker, curve, 4-seam, and a changeup, and walks Jimenez. So 1 on 1 out, and here comes Gavin Sheets. Go ahead, AJ.
No, remember when Aaron Sanchez, when he came up, was one of the uber prospects in all of Major League Baseball. When he came up with the Blue Jays, they were talking about this guy being one of their aces for the future. And just kind of injuries have derailed him, Corey. Just hasn't been able to stay healthy enough to get the ball consistently.
Finger injuries on his pitching hand at various times, and some just recurring blisters that he could not solve. Then he hurt his finger too. A weird incident happened with a suitcase. It got stuck unloading some luggage, and that kept him out from competing for a while. Began the year with Washington. To the right side, to Correa for 1, on to first, and Sanchez as a scoreless third inning. We'll go to the fourth in Chicago. 4-0 White Sox. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. And by Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance. Well, the last time these teams had a postseason series win, my colleague was a part of both of them.
Let's talk about me, Corey.
Let's talk about you. Why not?
That's amazing. I mean, you look at it, and we showed the 2002 ALDS for the Twins, and that was 20 years ago. The last time the Twins won a playoff series, and then the White Sox 2005. I mean, it really is mind-boggling to me, because the Twins have been in the playoffs a ton. The White Sox have been in the playoffs the last few years. They just haven't been able to do anything once they get there.
Now the AL Central as a whole, since Cleveland won the pennant in 2016, since then the AL Central has only won 4 playoff games. An AL Central team has won only 4 playoff games from 2017 and on.
Well, I knew the White Sox won 1 last year.
Cleveland. (2-1) to Arise.
I know the Twins have won 0.
Twins have lost 18 straight playoff games.
You would think, again, that they would run into a win, like just run into a team having a bad pitching day, or one of your starters go out and throw a one-hitter or a shutout and give up 1 run, and someone hit a home run.
2-2. It's popped up. Andrus out, Vaughn in, and it's going to be Pollock, the center fielder, taking charge. That's what a center fielder should do on a ball like that. And the veteran Pollock makes the play. 1 down. Outfield defense for the White Sox has not been a strength all year long. But Pollock, his best position is center. See that in terms of outs above average. The infield has been better. The outfield near the bottom in all of baseball. Strike 1 to Correa on a slider.
For me, that's tough, though, because you have Sheets, who's basically was a first baseman basically his whole life, and then you have Vaughn in left, who's been a first baseman pretty much his entire life, and then you expect him just to throw him in left and right field and say, "Oh, go save runs." Well, that usually doesn't work like that.
And without Luis Robert, too, it takes on a whole different look, too, how good he is in center. The former first baseman there in the corners tonight. 0-2 on Correa. Just the clutch hit for Correa late in a game just hasn't been there. He has really struggled all season long, especially with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. As he sends one to right center, deep and playable. Once again, it's Pollock. 2 down. Kenny?
Well, Carlos Correa, we all know, has the opt-out at the end of the season, but the kind of year he's having, I don't see him getting the $300 million that he's been seeking, that he sought last year. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. He is spoken, or has spoken, highly of his time with the Twins. He loves their young players. He loves the travel in the AL Central, the shorter flights than in the AL West when they were always going with the Astros to the West Coast. But again, he's got $70.2 million guaranteed coming over the next 2 years if he stays with this contract. Can he beat that guarantee on the open market? Almost certainly.
Kenny, let me stick with that theme here, because it is still a talented free agent shortstop class with Swanson and Turner, and Bogarts has an opt-out. Of those 3, would you say Turner right now, with the way that he's been playing, is going to be the #1 choice for teams out there?
I would, Corey, and that's a great call, and it's because Turner's having the best year. Correa is still the youngest, even though he was a free agent last year and the youngest of the shortstops. But Trey Turner right now, the dynamic player that he is, he's the man.
It's sharply, but to Abreu. And Cease has another 1-2-3 inning. Aaron Sanchez back out. 4-0 White Sox. (4-0 Chicago). A.J. Pollock leads off the fourth. Pollock riding a 5-game hitting streak. Aaron Sanchez with a first pitch curveball to start the fourth inning. First round pick by the Diamondbacks back in 2009. Acquired from the Dodgers during spring training for Craig Kimbrell. 0-2.
Interesting approach here from Sanchez. Since he's come in last inning, he's done a lot of first pitch breaking balls. And after the first inning with Mahle, he also started throwing a lot of first pitch off speed to try to get these White Sox hitters off of his fastball. So today the White Sox have hit some balls hard. These are the 5 balls they've hit over 100 miles an hour. Almost all of these balls, sorry, 5 that they've hit, and almost all of them have been up the middle or the other way. The only one that wasn't is the Gavin Sheets 103.2, which actually ended up being a double play.
And that one hung, and that's fair. Towards the left field corner. A.J. Pollock now with a 6-game hitting streak. It's a leadoff double. Said at the top tonight that A.J. Pollock, if you look at his career, he is at his best in September. That has been his best month in terms of home runs, in terms of slugging. Adds to that with a leadoff double.
Well, the one problem you have when you throw a lot of curveballs like Aaron Sanchez has done through his inning plus so far, like he threw A.J. Pollock a curveball to start the at-bat. Well, now the hitter's seen it. So the next one has to be better than the first one, and that was a 2-strike breaking ball that Pollock did not miss. He shoots it down the left field corner for a leadoff double.
And now Harrison, as Sanchez runs a sinker inside, and that's ball 1. Sanchez signed with the Twins in June. Began the year with Washington. Borderline pitch, and the call went Harrison's way. 2-0. Josh Harrison, 35 years old. And there's a sinker for a strike. Reached 10 years of service time at the big league level this season, did Harrison. And always an impressive feat in this game. So few do reach that number, and Harrison did. To right center field, to the gap. It'll land in front of Celestino. Pollock will be held, and the White Sox have runners at the corners and nobody out, up by 4 in the 4th inning.
It's another great piece of hitting here by Josh Harrison and these White Sox hitters. It's another breaking ball up. It's another curveball. Just kind of rolls up there. See it up, out over the plate. Josh Harrison in that situation is thinking, I've got to get Pollock to third with less than 2 outs. So Aaron Sanchez is doing him a favor by throwing him that breaking ball out over the plate. Easy pitch for a guy like Harrison, just to slap to right field.
And now Zavala. Now the White Sox, in terms of run scoring, they're about middle of the pack in the American League. And there's strike 1 on Zavala. It's interesting to say that because they lead the American League, the White Sox, do in batting average.
Because they don't
singles, right?
They
but
don't
the
hit home runs,
right? The home runs have not been there until recently, including Jimenez tonight. Now 9 homers over their last 5 games.
Well, they've been good with runners in scoring position. They get a ton of singles. They get a ton of guys on base. They don't walk, and they haven't hit home runs. So it's kind of a weird combination.
It's foul by Joe McEwing.
But also, if you talk to White Sox or if you watch them in the past, they would walk and hit home runs, but they wouldn't get singles. So strangely enough, this year they're getting singles, and everyone's complaining they're not hitting home runs and they're not walking. So it's kind of, which one do you really want? Which offense do you want to be? And which one could be more effective?
Sanchez striking out 10 batters per 9 as a Twin so far. Is ahead 0-2. And he strikes out Zavala with a curveball. got ahead, went back to the bender, and Zavala's out number 1.
Really good pitch here by Sanchez. Just a nasty curveball. Zavala way out in front. Huge first out there for Sanchez.
Now Romy Gonzalez single to right. 2 for 5 now in this series. He's the former Miami Hurricane. Check on Harrison, who's back in safely. And neither of these teams run much. Now, injuries certainly play into why the stolen base numbers are down, but the White Sox 41 stolen bases, 13th in the American League. The Twins dead last in stolen bases is 27. Right on cue, runner goes, and the pitch is sent foul. Hit and run there for the White Sox. Harrison on the move as Gonzalez flared it foul. See it right there. The Twins are at the bottom. 27 stolen bases, and Byron Buxton, his speed of course is among the best in the game, but Byron, when he's healthy, he doesn't walk often and doesn't pick up too many singles.
It's homers. Rocco Baldelli wants him to hit homers. The thing is I love that hit and run right there. First and third, 1 out. Put pressure on the Twins. Keep the pressure on if you're the White Sox.
Harrison runs again, and they run it up again. Hit and run, but again, Gonzalez hit it foul as Sanchez ran a sinker in on the hands.
Also, let's not forget, Miguel Cairo is the acting manager of the White Sox. He was a contact guy. Probably when he played for Tony La Russa, Tony La Russa would put a hit and run probably with Miguel Cairo a lot. If you're thinking first and third right here, you have Gonzalez who already got a single to right field. You're thinking, all right, Sanchez is going to probably try to get him to hit a ground ball to get out of the inning. Why not send Harrison, eliminate the chance for a double play?
See if he does run 0-2, stays put, and that's tap foul. Just got a piece of the curveball. White Sox scored 4 in the first, have a chance to add on. 2 on, 1 out, as Sanchez again throws over. And the reminder of the AL Central standings entering play tonight. Just a 1-game lead for Cleveland. White Sox 3 back, and the Guardians and the Mariners are playing as we speak in Cleveland, and the Mariners have a 2-0 lead in the 4th inning.
Chaos. Could be absolute chaos this last month in the AL Central, and I'm all for it.
Again, the 0-2 pitch, a fly ball, left field, hit well. Cave back, looks up towards the bleachers, and gone. The first big league home run for Romy Gonzalez is a 3-run blast to left center, and the White Sox open up a 7-0 lead. He's come close a few times, but there's the first major league home run for Romy Gonzalez, a guy that had 24 homers in the minor leagues last year. The second 3-run homer tonight for this surging White Sox offense. Andrus to right. In the ballpark for Kepler. 2 down.
Just a hanging breaking ball. Gets it up. All he's trying to do right there is hit a fly ball. Score Pollock from third base. And when you're trying to do the right thing and you see that ball up, you see that ball is belt high, really doing nothing. There's not much on it. As Paul Konerko used to say, the only thing on that ball was Aaron Sanchez's fingers. And Gonzalez gets it up, hits it for his first career major league home run.
Former teammate of yours, Torrey Hunter, used to say that a hanging curveball is a gift from the gods. And he got one to his liking there, and Gonzalez deep to the bleachers, 7-0 Chicago.
So now what does he have to give up for that ball?
Well, the question is, does that fan want a Romy Gonzalez autograph, or he's going to be like, hey, congratulations, but can I get something from Abreu or something from Cease? That does happen from time to time. It's not always the player that hit it that fan wants the autograph from.
That's true. You should definitely get something from the guy who just hit his home run. Just rude if you don't.
As Vaughn hits it foul. Andrew Vaughn 1 for 2 tonight. The 3rd overall pick in 2019. Just 24 years old. 2-2 over the mound. Near second, Nick Gordon behind the bag. And that's out number 3. The White Sox scored 4 in the first, had 3 more in the 4th. Romy Gonzalez, his first big league home run. And the White Sox lead by 7. Seven nothing White Sox as we start the 5th. And Jose Miranda bounces it foul. Dylan Cease has seen the minimum through 4. The only base runner tonight was a leadoff walk to Jake Cave in the 3rd, but then he was erased on a 6-4-3 double play 1 batter later. That's high, and a 1-1 count. Jose Miranda, the Minnesota Twins 2021 minor league player of the year. Got off to a slow start to begin his big league career earlier in the year, but he has been among the game's better rookie offensive players now for the last 2 or 3 months as he blasts one high and deep to left, but drifting back in the ballpark. That's caught by Vaughn. And there's out number 1. First 14 games, not unusual, but then confidence and really began a great relationship with Carlos Correa, a guy that he leaned on a lot. And speaking of that relationship, Ken Rosenthal has more on that.
Well, talking to Correa yesterday, he called Miranda a natural hitter, but really he wants him to work on his defense. Miranda was mostly a 3rd baseman in the minors, and Correa said he's going to bring him back to his home in Houston for 2 weeks immediately after the season ends to work on his first base play. I asked Correa if Miranda is down with that idea. He said he doesn't have an option.
Ball 1 high to Nick Gordon.
That sounds like a guy in Carlos Correa that's invested in the Twins' future.
Yeah.
Kenny's talking about him opting out. I mean, you don't bring guys to your house and on a team you're not going to play for next year.
Correa, he was outspoken too leading up to the trade deadline, and he let everybody know as Gordon hits this on the ground to the right side. And Gonzalez makes the play on that 2 down. That in terms of untouchable young players on this Twins team, Correa, he let everybody know that Miranda, hey, he has to stay. That he was a guy that he felt should not and was not moved at the trade deadline.
You got to build around somebody. And the way he swung the bat, you have a rise. If Correa stays, get Kepler back healthy, you get Buxton back healthy. Nick Gordon's really come on. You've got some pieces if you're the Twins. Now, can you find pitching? Can you find enough pitching?
As Urshela takes high ball 1. Now the Twins are optimistic that Kenta Maeda will be back and ready to go full go to rejoin the rotation for 2023. He's been out all year recovering from Tommy John surgery. And a 1-1 count. And Chris Paddock should be back at some point in 2023 as well. First couple of months of the season, perhaps. Ball 2. Dylan Cease tonight, a guy that is striking out 12 batters per 9, has not yet struck out a Twins hitter. He's walked only 1. Pitch count in fantastic shape. 2-2.
No strikeouts, but 49 pitches through 4 2/3. A lot of weak contact, and I'm just going to say it now. He might be on the verge of something special.
There's strikeout number 1. Sure enough on the slider. Crowd loving the effort tonight from Cease and the offense. The postseason races are heating up, and the stretch run is going to be thrilling. Follow at MLB on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube so you don't miss a thing leading up to October. As Miranda makes the play on that. And that is out number 1. Twins make some defensive changes. Kyle Garlick is now in right. And Jermaine Palacios activated off the taxi squad today. Jorge Polanco, just as the game was beginning, was put on the IL with an injured left knee. So Palacios activated. He's at short. Garlick in right. Correa and Kepler, AJ, are done for Rocco Baldelli's team here in the 5th inning, down 7-0.
Interesting. I know it's 7-0 and Dylan Cease is rolling, but I guess he wants to get them off their feet for the early game tomorrow. What? It is only the 5th inning.
Eloy Jimenez has been on twice, a home run and a walk. Outside.
Also, if you're the Twins, I wanted Correa and Kepler to get another at bat, especially Kepler, who's done a lot of damage against Cease in his career.
1-1, misses outside. Sanchez came on to start the 3rd. Tyler Mahle in his return went 2 innings, gave up 4 runs, 37 pitches, and Sanchez back out here in the 5th. Strike 2 called. Sinker to Jimenez. Jimenez striking out less. He's walking more and also chasing less than he has in recent years.
Maturation. Maturity, maturation as a hitter.
Strike 3.
Strike 3 called at 91, top of the zone. So Jimenez a strikeout, but we've seen some of that maturation, AJ, in the opening inning tonight.
Well, this isn't maturation. This is just pure strength, getting the ball up and whacking it out there to right field. 109 on the exit velo, 425 feet. Yeah. You hit a ball like that, you can point at yourself and do all that good stuff because that's fun. And 10 home runs in 5 games. The White Sox offense is coming, and that's going to be a problem these last 30 games for the rest of the AL Central.
At the right time. 94 inside ball 1 to Gavin Sheets. 0 for 2 tonight. Sheets had a red hot August. He said earlier that to begin the year he was too passive with his approach. Ball 2 outside, and now his A swing is almost his every swing. He may shorten up a little bit with 2 strikes. He doesn't choke up. But he has been driving the ball with power here the second half of the season. Ball 3.
We ask any hitting coach in today's game, they're all going to say, give me your A swing as many times as you can. And for Gavin Sheets, if that's what he feels like on every single swing, and you are locked in, you're in what they call the zone, right, Corey?
That's 4.
4-pitch walk. And Sheets is on for the first time tonight. Second walk issued by Aaron Sanchez. And now Pollock. Statistically, this has been among the worst seasons that Pollock has posted in a long time. This bat has been warming up here lately. A double and a run scored tonight. At the knees for strike one.
He was brought here to hit lefties, which he's always done, and he's done that this year. 9 of his 10 home runs are off left-handed hitters, or left-handed pitchers, excuse me, and he's played a good outfield. I don't think when the White Sox brought him over,
Oh, no, it didn't go.
they expected.
Did not go.
They expected him maybe to play every day as much as he has with Sheets and Vaughn and Jimenez and Robert.
Angle too, Adam Angle.
So he's gotten to play a ton. He had a great year with the Dodgers last year, hence why he was traded for Craig Kimbrell.
He is walking more this year than he did last year. Now the 1-1.
You good?
1-2. Warm, humid night here in Chicago. White Sox won in walk-off fashion last night, seeking their 4th straight win. Up by 7. Now Sanchez grab one of the 2 rosin bags.
Taking the air out of the ball, just completely slowing it down, taking away any momentum the White Sox might have had in this inning.
The 1-2 way upstairs, snagged by Gary Sanchez. And now a 2-2 count. So Gary Sanchez a moment ago, he has been starting more here lately. 4th start over the last 5 games for Minnesota. And Gary will be heading back to New York after the game tomorrow. Twins and the Yankees open up a 4-game series on Monday afternoon. Line to right, and Garlick back and now in, and that's the inning. On to the 6th inning. Dylan Cease back out. 7-0 White Sox. Window. Big noon Saturday returns with a blockbuster. Legendary powerhouses collide as reigning Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young and top-ranked Alabama take on Texas. It all starts at 10 Eastern with a big noon kickoff crew live from Austin, and then it's Bama and Texas at noon Eastern on Fox.
Be careful what you wish for, Texas.
Roll Tide.
Bama's coming. I don't know if you want to mess with them too much.
The only Twin to reach tonight, Jake Cave with a walk in the 3rd.
And that's where
a 1-1 count.
And that's where Cease missed to Cave. He missed up with a lot of fastballs to Cave, and that's how Cave was able to get on base.
Dylan Cease has yet to allow a hit tonight as he starts the 6th. The 1-1 upstairs, ball 2. Now Dylan Cease has done this tonight, AJ.
15 outs, 8 on the 4-seamer, 6 on the slider, which is the pitch he's known for, 1 on the knuckle curve. Kind of snuck that one in there, but you see a lot of these are in the zone. That shows you how good his stuff is. The Twins are making outs in the zone.
2-1 pitch, a high fly ball to right, but playable for Sheets. 1 out.
And another one in the zone there, Corey. Another ball in the zone. It gets in on Cave. Not able to do anything with it. When the more weak contact, and the most impressive thing, only 54 pitches. The one thing I talked about in the beginning when we talked about Dylan Cease is the walks and how he runs his pitch count up. Well, tonight the pitch count is down, and that's why he is dominating through 5+ innings.
Sanchez, a double play ball in the 3rd. Strike 1. Twins have not gotten much offensively from their catching group all season long. It's a group that's missing Ryan Jeffers right now. He's coming back from a thumb injury. Woo! Strike two. Sanchez and Jeffers began the year. And Sandy Leon. Twins acquired him in a minor league trade with Cleveland at the deadline. Not playing tonight. Ball one.
Well, the thing is, Gary Sanchez was known for his offense when he first came up with the Yankees. At the very least, he could hit homers for you. The last few years in New York weren't the best, but he would at least run into 20 to 25 for you. And this year, he's kind of lost his power. He's had a power outage.
Ball two, and he's not walking as often. His on-base percentage is down from where it's been throughout his career. Not a guy that was going to have a 350 on-base percentage, but low 300s. Sanchez shy of 290 on-base percentage entering his game tonight. The 2-2. Again, keeping track of the Mariners and Guardians. Still a 2-0 Seattle lead. Cleveland entering play tonight. Led the Twins by one. The White Sox only 3 back. The 2-2. On the ground to the left side. Gonzalez. 2 down. The only strikeout tonight for Dylan Cease was against Urshela in the 5th inning. And it came on his slider. And for more on that pitch, once again, here's Ken.
Well, Corey, Dylan Cease actually wrote a poem about his slider. It's called "Oh Slider Slide." And he said the words came to him from listening to piano music in the shower. Now, his teammates wear T-shirts with the title of the poem on the front, the words on the back, and some of the lines are rather clever. It's got some old school, "Oh Slider Slide, past the batsman I send that rounds cowhide." And he's got new school with a reference to spin rate. "Oh Slider Slide, the humans can't believe my 3,000 RPM and fastball ride." AJ, I don't believe you ever wrote a poem.
Heck no. A poem, I didn't have time. That would have taken me 3 years to write, Ken, and you would have ghostwritten it for me.
2 balls and no strikes on Gilberto Celestino.
It's cool though. He's got a shirt.
Got a shirt, and when you post these kind of numbers, you should have a shirt.
Should have more than a shirt. He might get a Cy Young to back it up.
No pitch in baseball this season has induced more swings and misses than Dylan Cease's slider.
The confidence. You see the confidence in it right there. 2-0 slider to the 9-hole hitter Celestino.
The 2-1. Slider. 2-2. Full count. Rise on deck if Celestino reaches. And there's ball 4. Second walk of the night. And we will see Luis Urias. The American League batting champion trophy is Ethan Katz. Pitching coach will grab a drink of water. And getting back to Urias, the American League batting champion trophy named after Rod Carew. Major League Baseball did that in 2016. American League, Rod Carew. National League, the late Tony Gwynn. And Urias and Carew have a great relationship. So much so as Urias takes inside ball 1. Early August, Urias was struggling, was hitting too many fly balls, and Rod Carew, he's watching tonight in Los Angeles, and he watches every Twins game, and he pulled Urias aside and said, "Hey, Enough of this fly ball stuff. Go back to your line drives and ground balls and spray the ball around. That's made him such an elite hitter. 97 from Cease and a 1-1 count.
That's the type of hitter he is. He's not going to hit home runs. He'll hit a few here and there. Figure out what you're good at and be great at it. He is a great contact guy. Spray the ball around. They can't shift on him because he hits the ball line to line. He doesn't hit the ball ultra hard. He's in the lower 10% or so of hard hit percentage, but he just knows how to get knocks.
It's a great matchup, AJ, with what we just saw about how good Cease's slider is at generating swings and misses. But he's doing that against the guy that's the toughest to have swing and misses against. Arise, a swing and miss, fewer than 8% of his swings. Does he actually miss the baseball?
One of the things that Cease has done to Arise so far, though, in his first 2 at bats, he has pounded him inside. He's thrown heaters in, sliders in. Make him aware of the ball in to get him out of luck.
This crowd is into it tonight. Now to 1-2. Those pitches Cease has had any inning so far tonight, about to throw his 21st of the inning and 71st overall. Time call. Cease, he's not moving. He's pretty composed there on the rubber. Now the 2-2. Strike 3 call. Harrison, ground ball to short, and Jermaine Palacios now at short. 1 pitch, 1 swing, and Harrison is retired. Now Dylan Cease with 2 strikeouts so far, and got some help, AJ, on this last one.
I'm just going to say that was a good frame by Seby Zavala behind the plate, because that's really the only reason I can come up with how Jeremy Riak behind the plate called that strike. That ball is at his neck. I'm surprised Arise didn't get a little more animated when you got rung up on that pitch.
7-0 White Sox. Strike 1 to Zavala. The only White Sox hitter that is yet to reach in some capacity tonight. He has popped out and struck out. It fouled down the right side. Oh, good sleep can get you a once-in-a-lifetime experience at the World Series this fall. Enter to win MLB Season of Dreams sweepstakes presented by Mattress Firm at MLB.com/Season of Dreams. Sanchez has been on since the 3rd. And now time called as Zavala resets, as does Aaron Sanchez. Up and inside, ball 1. Two down. Second time Zavala has struck out tonight. 3rd strikeout for Aaron Sanchez. Now Romy Gonzalez has had a big night and a major league first. AJ back in the 4th.
Hanging curveball from Aaron Sanchez, and ignite in the swing. Romy Gonzalez will never forget. See the excitement on Josh Harrison. Sometimes, you know, Romy Gonzalez wasn't excited as Josh Harrison because you try to act all cool like, it's no big deal, but it's a big deal when you hit that first major league home run.
Fastball high, ball one. Strike one, and games with multiple home runs are beginning to pile up now for the White Sox. Multiple home runs in 3 of their last 4 games, including tonight. Strike two.
That's what this offense was supposed to be when Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams and Tony La Russa put this team together. It's supposed to be a 1 through 9 lineup with depth, all guys with power. Anyone could do damage.
That guy did damage early. Jimenez to the right side, second up, played nicely by Miranda. He'll take it to the bag, and that's out number 3. Dylan Cease has not yet allowed a hit through 6. 7th inning next. Baseball night in America, and what a night for Dylan Cease. 6 innings, no runs, no hits. He has walked 2. As Kyle Garlick leads off the 7th. Strike 1, and Cease has done that throughout the night. 12 of 20 first pitch strikes for the 26-year-old Dylan Cease. And the 0-1, strike 2 on a slider. Garlick this season, he's been banged up on the injured list with a rib injury, a calf injury. Now playing right field for Max Kepler. Rocco Baldelli took Kepler out, took Correa out, and Garlick with his first at bat here tonight. And the 1-2, strike 3. There's out number 1, third strikeout for Cease, another strikeout with his slider.
Just a nasty slider, and you're Garlick, you come off the bench and you got to face that pitch. That is just a perfect slider. 2-strike count, starts as a strike, breaks away. Just nothing you can do with that. You're hoping you foul that off and live to fight another pitch.
And now rookie Jermaine Palacios. And there's strike 1. Now substitutions made early in this game by Rocco Baldelli with Correa and Kepler coming out. Kenny, you have some thoughts on that?
I do, Corey, and I agree with AJ. One, it was too early in the game. I know it's 7-0. Teams have come back from 7-0 this season. Also, though, in the middle of what is a no-hitter, don't you want your best team out there? And again, Rocco Baldelli has to think about his team, this pennant race, their best chances going forward. But here you are with 2 relatively inexperienced players substituting for 2 of their better hitters. I get it, but at the same time, it bugs me a little.
97 upstairs and a 1-2 count. Correa has the hoodie on now. He had 2 at-bats. Kepler had 2 at-bats.
I agree with everything Ken just said. You at least wait until their 3rd at bat and then you get them out. Save them a couple innings. I know Rocco Baldelli doesn't care what Dylan Cease is doing, but man, I'd love to see Kepler. He's owned Cease throughout his career. He's got 3 homers off of him. Just give him another shot.
Well, the Mariners have added to their lead. Now a 4-0 Mariner advantage in Cleveland. And that's more good news for Miguel Cairo and the White Sox. And there's more good news. Strikeout number 4 for Cease. 2 up, 2 down.
Oh, he's feeling it now, Corey. The crowd is getting into it. Cease is feeling it. He's found his slider. Starting to get ahead, and then he's just putting guys away, and these guys have no chance on that slider.
So 2 batters and 2 strikeouts, and now Miranda. Hit the ball hard to left his last time up. Outside ball 1.
You mentioned the Twins taking some guys out. If I'm Miguel Cairo, I'm thinking Adam Engel maybe in right for Sheets. Maybe start thinking defense here. Last couple innings.
And the 1-0. Tied him up. Nice strike. Only 2 base runners all night. A walk to Cave in the 3rd, a walk to Celestino in the 6th. And that's been it.
Good.
1-2. White Sox fans, they have been emotional all season long. On their feet, getting behind their ace here tonight. The 1-2 in the air to right, playable. Sheets. Dylan Cease pumps the fist, nods the head, eyes the crowd. No hits allowed through 7. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with Renters Insurance. And by Hyundai. It's your journey. AJ Brzezinski has his table ready whenever he wants at the famed Gibson's Steak House in Chicago.
I may have been there a time or 2 over the years.
I mean, last name not even needed. Table AJ. That's it. 7-0 White Sox. Strike 1 to Elvis Andrus.
I know the chairman of the White Sox, Mr. Jerry Reinsdorf, has a very special table that I have attended with him there before.
Down in front.
A jam bobbled by Palacios, recovers. 1 out. Now the NFL season is almost here, and so is your chance to win Terry Bradshaw's money every week playing Fox Bet Super 6. Download the free-to-play Super 6 app now and pick 6 outcomes from week 1 of the NFL season for a chance at $100,000 of Terry's money. Andrew Vaughn 1 for 3. Are hitters right now looking to expedite these at-bats even more so with what's possibly at stake here tonight? Or are they still thinking about their pattern, their plan?
Well, I can only speak for myself and the 2 no-hitters I was a part of. My at-bats, by the time I got this deep in the game, I didn't care. I was the catcher, so I was literally like, I was swinging the first pitch, making out, and let's hurry up and get back out there. Could have also didn't help that I was so nervous I could barely move back there because you don't want to mess it up for the guy pitching. But yeah, as a catcher, my at-bats didn't matter. It was let's get out there and play defense and try to get a few more outs.
I saw Cease in the dugout. He has his catcher and Zavala next to him, his pitching coach, and Ethan Katz, but everybody else is staying away. Now that's in contrast to Mark Burley, right? Burley, he would be in the dugout and he wanted everybody around him laughing and joking and enjoying the night, right?
I've told the story before. When Mark threw perfect game that he threw against the Tampa Bay Rays, we had our lockers next to each other. Dwayne Wise, the catch, and he came in and was mad. He was a little bit late and said he was going to stink that day. And I said, go throw a no-hitter. He said, I did that already. And I said, go throw a perfect game. And he said, I'm going to do that. And the best part is you're not catching. And then he proceeded every inning, because he wouldn't let me come in the dugout. He made me sit in the locker room in my locker the whole game. And every inning he would come in and laugh in my face and say, "Ha, here we go. Here comes the perfect game, and you're not catching," and would laugh and dance in my face. And he was talking about it and jumping up and down and acting like it was no big deal.
Full count to Andrew Vaughn. In the air to right. In the ballpark for Garlick. And there are 2 down.
And then conversely, when Phil Humber threw his perfect game in Seattle, we all stayed away from it. It was no talking. You didn't even want to look at him. I was scared to death when you get about the 8th inning and Phil Humber 24 up, 24 down. I ain't talking to you, dude. I ain't looking at you. I don't want no part of this.
Two down for Abreu. 1 for 3 tonight with a run. Now catching. As Abreu, you see the numbers on first baseman, free agent to be. New catcher is Caleb Hamilton, rookie out of Oregon State. Gary Sanchez done for the night. And the 0-1 blasted foul. Jose Abreu, MVP in 2020, leader of this White Sox team, elite player, elite leader. And produced the game-winning run last night. Oh, 2 back to the mound, speared by Sanchez. And a scoreless 7th. Dylan Cease 6 outs away from history in Chicago. Enjoy the postseason chase with the MLB app, with coverage of in-game highlights, pitch-by-pitch features, select live broadcast coverage, and more. You won't miss a beat. Download the MLB app today. Dylan Cease, 7 innings, no hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. His 85th pitch is inside to Nick Gordon. And that's ball 1. Gordon 0 for 2 tonight. He's bounced out and popped out to third. Strike 1. Well, AJ hinted at this earlier. The White Sox do change up the defense. Pollock goes from center to left. Adam Engel now in center. And Chicagoland native Mark Payton is now defending in right.
Absolutely. Don't need offense anymore. You need defense.
96, and it's 1-2.
The thing Cease has done, especially the last few innings, he's found breaking balls. Earlier in the game, he didn't have it. That's why he was getting weak contact, a lot of fastballs. The Twins weren't able to hit it. Now he's found his breaking ball. Now he has adrenaline going. It's only going to get better.
1 out.
Just gas right by Nick Gordon. A little bit up. You're a Twins hitter. You better get Dylan Cease early in the count, because if you don't, he will put you away right now.
And with 2 strikes this season, Cease has allowed just a .115 batting average all year. Urshela.
See the velocity on that one? 98. The adrenaline, the crowd kicking in. It's the hardest pitch he's thrown all night.
That's Verlander-esque. When Verlander is at his best, when he has a chance to make some history, you see that. You see that velocity climb. Glove by Cease. 2 down. Now, defense, it always is important when a pitcher has a chance to make some history. Dwayne Wise, the catch, climbed that 8-foot-high wall and took a home run away. Just came into the game for defense, and Wise made a memorable play. That allowed Mark Burley to make history.
One of the greatest catches I've ever seen in person in a game, in a regular season game.
To first and caught by Abreu. Dylan Cease, 3 outs away from a no-hitter. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. A beautiful summer night in the great city of Chicago. And Nick Gordon, not his dad, Tom, but Nick is on to pitch now for the 4th time this year.
He's a
7-0 White Sox.
He's a veteran pitcher at this point. That's his 4th time this year.
A couple of years ago, veteran catcher Chris Jimenez, he pitched 6 times in 1 season, and yet that Twins team still made the playoffs. High ball 1 to Adam Hazley. His first at bat here tonight. He bats for Eloy Jimenez. Ball 3. Well, AJ mentioned that he's been in this spot before, behind the plate, a chance to make some history as first Hazley draws a 4-pitch walk. And Mark Burley, the no-hitter, April 18th, 2007.
Is that high definition? I mean, one of the great memories of a baseball player, of a catcher, of a pitcher, because they're not planned. It's not planned. It's not like winning a World Series where you have a whole season and make the playoffs. It's a one night where just everything goes correct. And for Mark Burley against the Texas Rangers, it was a really incredible night.
High ball 3 to Mark Payton. So a walk to Hazley. Now Payton. Dream come true for this guy. Chicagoland native, grew up a diehard White Sox fan. Some big league time with the Reds. Another 4-pitch walk. So 2 on, nobody out. 7-0 in favor of Chicago. Back here in the booth, Corey Provis, AJ Pierzynski. You had a feeling early on. It was about the 4th inning or so that Dylan Cease was special here tonight.
Second inning when I said something.
Second inning, okay.
I said
what'd you see early on?
It was 4-0 in the first, and I already mentioned that Dylan Cease, his first inning was the roughest inning he has. So I don't know. Sometimes you just get a feeling, and so far we're 8 innings in, and the feeling has stayed with us. Now, Nick Gordon, listen, he's out there doing his best, and he doesn't want to throw balls. Not only is this giving the White Sox a chance to score some runs, but it's also kind of icing Dylan Cease a little bit, because this could take a while. He's just going to have to sit over there and think and think and think, and sometimes that ain't good. You almost, if you're the White Sox, you tell, I know you don't want to give at bats away, but you tell somebody, hey, swing, man, make it out so we can get back out there on the field.
Rocco Baldelli's team earlier this season twice at Target Field, in fact. Clayton Kershaw, he was lifted early. He had a perfect game going through 7 in his first start of the season. In the air to right. Garlick coming in, late break, and he'll grab it. And then Justin Verlander also had a chance to make some history before his chance at a no-hitter ended late at Target Field. But Dylan Cease from the get-go, AJ, you just sensed that something seemed right and sound about Dylan Cease tonight.
Well, I don't know what it was, but I don't know. I had a weird feeling that the way this game matched up, once they jumped on him early, he got through the first couple innings and he made it look easy. And since then, he's only gotten better. There hasn't really been a ball hit that hard, except for the line drive the last inning to Abreu to end the 8th.
Pitch count, not an issue. Smacked up the middle, off the glove of Arise into center field. And everybody moves up one. Hazley to third, Payton down to second. And that loads him up for Seby Zavala. As I said, Zavala is the only White Sox batter that has not reached in some way tonight, but who cares? The job he's doing behind the plate, that is much more significant.
Absolutely.
He's been beyond the plate for that man.
Outside.
Outside to Zavala. White Sox. Go ahead, AJ. I'm sorry.
No. I was going to say, see, if I'm Hamilton behind the plate, I'm telling Jeremy Riak, look, man, we got a pitcher, position player pitching. Let's open this thing up a little bit.
Base hit to left, and 2 runs will score. Hazley, Payton are in. It's a 2-run single, 9-0 Chicago. Now the White Sox, they're about to even up the season series with the Twins 6-6, but Chicago is going to make it winners of 6 of the last 7 head-to-head against Minnesota. A night that Romy Gonzalez will never forget. His first big league home run in the 4th inning came against Aaron Sanchez. Part of a 2-hit night for the 25-year-old 18th round pick. 1-2. Harrison at second, Zavala's at first. Another base hit to left. Harrison held at third by Joe McEwing. Well, the AL Central race. Early on, Minnesota looked to be in a good spot. But then Cleveland got hot, and the Twins began playing 500, even below 500 baseball into the summer months. Meanwhile, you get into August, the Cleveland bullpen has been lights out. But now in September, the White Sox are peaking. Twins about to drop their 3rd straight. And the White Sox are playing good ball. To left field, deep down the line, in the corner, gone! Grand slam, Elvis Andrus. His second homer with his new team. His second hit tonight. 13-0.
Well, 75. Bases loaded. Grand slam for Elvis Andrus. They all count the same. Don't care if they're off Nick Gordon or Tom Gordon, but it's a good feeling as a hitter.
Or D. Gordon.
Or his brother D. Gordon, yes.
All smiles inside that White Sox dugout, except that man. He's all business. 1-2. Did not go on a check swing. 2-2. Popped up, playable. Celestino in center. 2 down. Kenny?
Well, guys, as big a night as this would be for Dylan Cease, as historic a moment as this would be for the White Sox, let's not lose sight of the bigger picture as well. The White Sox win this game. They are 4-1 under Miguel Cairo. We have been waiting for them to get hot all season. They are the most talented team in the division. They are a team that a lot of people thought would run away. Is this the time, finally, when we see the real White Sox?
Thanks, Kenny. And they're still missing so many important pieces the White Sox only in 4 of their games all year. In just 4 have had the big 6 of Anderson, Robert, Abreu, Jimenez, Moncada, and Vaughn. And Abreu with a 2-out double.
I agree. This is the run we've all been waiting for from the White Sox, and they're starting to get healthy. They're starting to swing the bats at the right time. This could be it.
Rocco Baldelli, he's got a mitt in his hands. He's going to swap out a mitt for a mitt, and now he's going to make a pitching change here. I think Jermaine Palacios, a smile on his face, added to the roster before the game with Jorge Polanco on the IL. As Gordon was trying to pitch the 8th inning, and he won't get through it. And a second position player is going to pitch here, and it's going to be Jermaine Palacios. So he will warm up, and we will take a break. Second position player to throw this inning for the Twins, Jermaine Palacios. And this all began with a walk to Adam Hazley, and he bats for the second time here in the 8th inning as he swings and misses. A 6-run 8th. And there's strike 3 and out number 3. We will stay here. Enjoy the roar from Chicago. Nothing as the 9th inning is about to begin. Dylan Cease is 3 outs away from a no-hitter. 8 innings, that matches the longest outing of his career. Ties for the longest outing of his career. He has walked 2, struck out 5, and in many ways not piling up the strikeouts in the manner that Cease normally does has helped him, AJ, reach this point. I mean, that's the bad part about strikeouts, is sometimes that will elevate your pitch count the more Ks you punch up, because you're rarely striking out hitters in 3 or 4 pitches consistent.
And a lot of times with Dylan Cease, he gets a lot of foul balls, which also runs your pitch count up. But he's gotten a lot of early contact. Clearly the Twins' approach tonight was to try to get him early in the count, because they didn't get to 2 strikes, but he was making such quality pitches, especially early in the game, that he kept his pitch count down. And here he is into the 9th inning. Pitch count in order, only 91 pitches.
There have been 20 no-hitters in White Sox history. The last one thrown by Chicago early in 2021, Carlos Rodon against Cleveland. There's only been 1 individual. Now, there have been some combined no-hitters, but only 1 individual no-hitter thrown in all of baseball this season. The Angels' Reed Detmers did so against Tampa Bay on May 10th. And the first batter he will face is rookie Caleb Hamilton. And how about this storyline? Hamilton does not have a hit in his big league career. 6 at-bats. He's hitless. Cease 3 outs away from history. Strike 1.
I promise you this, if Dylan Cease throws him 2 more of those sliders, he ain't getting a hit.
The 0-1 outside. A 6th-round pick by the Cubs in 2014, acquired by the White Sox, and the ill-fated trade from the Cubs side for Jose Quintana. 1-2. Eloy Jimenez also came to the White Sox in that same trade. And boy, Chicago, at least in the South Side, they're loving the return from that swap a couple of years ago. The 1-2. He went. 1 out.
Just another nasty slider. You got no chance. You get the 2 strikes. Hamilton's never seen anything like that pitch in his life. And in this situation, if you move your bat, you're more than likely going to get rung up by the umpire.
Celestino with a walk tonight to center field, shallow. Angle, 2 down. He's 1 out away, and to get there has to retire the man leading the American League in batting. Arise is 0 for 3. Ball 1.
I'm not throwing him a strike. I'm walking him. I'm throwing him 4 sliders. If he chases out of the zone, so what? I'll take my chance with Garlick, but I'm not letting him beat me right here.
Off of his foot as Arise hobbles away from the plate. 1-1.
He's already walked 2. There's already been base runners, so the perfect game is out of the way. Nothing against Garlick, but I'd much rather face Garlick than Luis Arise. But hey, right there, Dylan Cease reared back, challenge him 97, fouled one off his shin burner.
Listen to the Cease chants. To right center field. And Arise ends Cease's chance at history.
Well, Corey, you mentioned I was able to complete a couple of them, but I've also been 8 2/3.
And the question will be asked, no doubt, postgame. Did you think about working around Arise just to get this matchup here? Arise, the American League leader in batting average. A 2-out single to right center. And Cease now looking for the complete game shutout. Ball 1.
I know it was a slider, wasn't it? But just listen, that guy is the one guy in this lineup right now that I feel like has a chance to get a hit. And it's easier said than done because Cease is a competitor, but I'm sorry, I'm taking my chances with Garlick.
It was on his 99th pitch of the night. And a clean single for Arise to right center. 1-2. Let's go back to the pitch a moment ago.
Just a slider. Do a whole lot, just middle of the plate, and you throw that pitch to Luis Arise, he's going to hit it. That's why I was saying, we kind of talked about it. Just throw 4 in the dirt and take your chances with the guy on deck. Cease knew it. Everybody knew it. Huge reaction by the crowd.
Strike 3 swinging. A complete game, one-hit shutout for Dylan Cease. And the White Sox, here in September, are peaking at the right time. A 13-0 dominant victory tonight. And the White Sox, here in September, are right in the middle of this AL Central Division race.
What a performance by that guy, Dylan Cease. Unfortunately, he lost the no-hitter with the last batter, 2 outs in the ninth. We talked about him being in the Cy Young Award race. He moved up in my book, Corey. He might have just taken over the lead for the Cy Young.
Injuries to Verlander and McClanahan. And Dylan Cease dominant again tonight and 1 hit away from a no-hitter. We go back to the 1-1 slider to Arise.
Just a down the middle slider, a little bit hanging, 199th pitch. You know what's funny? Arise celebrated like he just hit a walk-off home run. Big bat flip. Cease knew it right away as soon as he threw it. Saw it hit the outfield grass. I've been there. I've caught it. I've been in 8 2/3. Perfect game, Yu Darvish. It is just a devastating feeling. But way to go. He finished off the shutout, 9 innings, longest outing of his career. Great job by Dylan Cease tonight.
Dylan Cease picks up his 13th win, and he is standing by with our own Ken Rosenthal.
Dylan, complete game shutout. Difficult to be disappointed with that. But what are your emotions right now after coming so close?
I am disappointed, but like you said, to win, CG, I'll take it. But yeah, it's a little disappointing.
The at-bat with Arise, what was your approach? Did you think about possibly pitching around him?
Yeah, I didn't want to give him anything too good to hit, but you know, I didn't want to fall behind and walk him either, so just try to get it down, and he got to it.
When did you get the feeling that tonight could be special?
I think around the 6th. You know, I really got dialed in with my fastball command, and they had been swinging so early that I was at like 40-something or 50 pitches through 5, so you know, I knew from there I had a chance at a CG at the very least.
Now, you guys had a long 8th inning, 6 runs scored.
Yeah.
How did you keep your focus?
When you got a no-hitter on the line, it's not hard to stay focused.
What will you take from this game ultimately?
That you can't ever take a pitch off. Not that I did take one off there, but it's not over till it's over. So you know, I'm sure he wanted to end it as much as I wanted it. So you know, good for them, and yeah, good win for us.
Dylan, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Ken, Dylan, thank you. And the key part there at the end, good win for us. As the White Sox, during this frustrating season that they've had, but despite all of that, here they are without Tony La Russa right now, away from this team as he takes care of himself physically. But Dylan Cease, amazing tonight, and AJ was 1 batter away from history.
Just a dominant performance. Not only by, yes, Dylan Cease gets the headlines, but by the White Sox team in general. 13-0, just dominated the Twins tonight after last night's game. The thing is, man, what a great interview by Ken Rosenthal, but you could hear the disappointment. He says, yeah, you know, whatever, complete game shutout, we won. But there was a huge disappointment in his voice, and I feel for the kid. 8 2/3 no hit, and here are the standings, and the White Sox are not dead. They are alive and well in the AL Central.
And no doubt about that. And right now, Seattle is leading in Cleveland 4-0. That game in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Dylan Cease, his 13th win, a complete game, 1-hit shutout. White Sox win it 13-0. For AJ Pierzynski, Ken Rosenthal, and our great crew, Corey Provis saying so long. Coming up after the break, we'll send you out to bonus coverage, a live look-in of Seattle and Cleveland, as we send you a good night from the Windy City. White Sox win again.